Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jason, Jason's House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you today Big Box Retailer Time and Buys Volume 3. Now I didn't get a whole lot for myself, but I got a few items from the boy as well, my kid, and yeah, that's about it. So what's the updates that I got before we get into what we got today? So the first update is, how's the basement going? Basement's coming along. It's now got insulation in there. We're going to be getting an inspection, and then we can move forward finally, close off the walls, start getting the rest of the goodies done over on that side, and then we can start coming over to here, because once we get the flooring done, we get the walls done, finished, and we can move on to the next project in the house, which doesn't concern us on the tube of a billion views, but only one being you, because this is where most of my content comes from. But at the end of the day, just to add a little bit of what I'm talking about, you have to make updates to your house. And if you have the funds to be able to do so, well, that means do it. Don't wait, don't procrastinate, which can lead to more money and a lot of problems down the line. So with that being said, that's that. And then also I wanted to update you on the last video. I thought it was pretty cool to try this. I have this little tripod thing that I use when my girlfriend Cynthia can't help me with shooting the vids, and she even uses it even though she could hold it and I don't have to have it sitting there like that, but pretty cool. So something I introduced in the last video is I used this and I kind of had it at an angle. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the video came out okay. It was very much a pain in the butt for trying to figure out the correct angle. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this by any means. I've still got a long way to go and a long way lots of things to learn, but I like to try new things and see if it worked out. So on that last video you saw, that's how I did that. If you have a chance after you're watching this video, take a look at that and let me know what your thoughts were on the angle of it, because sometimes I like to come up with new and creative ways to shooting these videos, and I'd like to hear some feedback from you folks. So with all that being said, do I have anything else? No? There's no other updates, so let's get right back to the goods. So obviously I went to a big box retailer today, and the next week, I believe, a week from tomorrow, which is Monday, my local thrift, along with a few other ones that I travel to, will eventually be opening, I believe. And I don't know if there's a phase system with that as well as it is with the whole state in regards to how they're opening. Are they counting? Obviously, you're going to have to wear a face mask. I think that's pretty much the same throughout the whole country. There might be some parts that don't do that, but in the state of Massachusetts, we currently are phasing into the new life, as they call it, or the new way of life, or whatever it is, the new normal. But one of those things is obviously wearing something over your face so you can prevent the spread of the ongoing healthcare crisis. So with all that being said, Thrift Time and Finds will be making its triumphant return. I know I had one before because that's technically a thrift store that I got those VHSs from, which is pretty cool, and I hope to get some more from him at some point in time, but I'm really super stoked to get out in the wild again and start looking for things. I didn't know how much fun I was having with it until I couldn't do it anymore, and that's kind of an interesting topic to bring up today, right? So with everything we got going on, and the things we can't do anymore that we took so much for granted, now we really want to do them, right? It's a basic human nature thing, right? So just something to think about. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I wouldn't say that I took it for granted, but I really enjoyed it. I loved going to Savers. I loved going to the local Goodwill thrift. I love being able to find things and bringing them to these type of videos, and a lot of you folks out there were pretty excited to see what I had. We got into some great conversations. So the last video I got, we actually got 2 subs out of it, which was pretty cool. And they also checked out some of my earlier videos. And then when we had a little conversation back and forth about, well, you saw this video and you saw this, and they were commenting how the game room was and everything like that. Take a look at this video and see the dramatic change. And they were like blown away that I actually was able to keep my composure, which I think I've done pretty well with. So a couple of good updates. I will let you know as soon as I can get back. I'll be super excited, super pumped. Now let's get to the goods. I'm done. Okay. So I obviously went to a big box retailer today, and got some cool stuff. So I wanted to share it with you because I can do that. It's my channel. The first thing I got is not going to be for me, but I thought this was pretty cool. My kid is a fan of Minions, and he's obviously a fan of toys. He's 7 years old, so I looked at this and I was like, wow, I thought this would be pretty cool to play with. So I'm not really into Minions whatsoever. I think they're kind of funny, and you know, I've seen the movies, so obviously I've had a kid, not all of them. I've seen portions of them, most of it, I don't know, whatever. But he really enjoys this, and he likes getting new toys, so I figured, why not grab him this? Let me know in the comment section down below if you folks out there have children, or if you're young or just interested in collecting this kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on the figures that come out nowadays as opposed to the ones that came out when I think this movie first came out in 2008, I want to say it was. 2009, quote me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm just curious, what do you think of the different lines that have come out? Because obviously, although I don't share a huge interest in Minions or collecting them whatsoever, I do notice things, and I'm just curious if you know out there, like any ones that you've gotten before compared to now. Is there any differences? Like, how is the articulation? Because when I look at this, the points of articulation on figures typically like this aren't the best, but I mean, not bad for what you're getting here, not bad for the price. So articulation could be big for a lot of folks that open up figures and want to display them. As you know with me, if you've seen any of my videos, inbox, sealed is kind of my thing with action figures. There are stuff that I get that I had on my nonsense table, which was right over there, that I have some good figures that were out of the box, whether I got them at the local thrift or I just had them throughout the years and just happened to find them, that I do appreciate the articulation, because you can post them in different ways, or pose them, pose them in different ways, and it kind of looks cool and it brings something new to the table. And I can't wait till I get that back. I talk about it all the time. That's probably going to be, other than my video games and my other nonsense, like the nonsense table is, for whatever reason, something that I feel is cool, and I want to consistently change it to make it even better. Because I would do this like every 6 months. I would move stuff around all over the place and change things up in the game room, but I think that would probably be more beneficial for me, because once I get done with this, because of all the nonsense I've been dealing with, I think that it'll be a good year before I want to touch this again, unless for whatever reason I have to expand or remove things to get some more cooler things in here. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. But let's move on to the next thing. So this right here, super pumped for this, right? So this is the Joker, and it's from the Arkham Asylum game. That's what it's based on. I think that this looks really cool. It looks like it's got some decent points of articulation. I don't know how many. It doesn't really say on the package or anything. I've played this, but I haven't played a lot of it. I got wicked aggravated with the first one because I couldn't figure out something really simple. I didn't take time to look it up online or whatever, which sometimes we have to do, right? And I hope that at some point in time I get back to this game, because I'm a huge Batman fan, right? In particular, the Joker. I mean, he's got his, I'm going to say that's a 500 Magnum, 44 possibly, maybe even a 357. That looks like the 500 to me. And man, does he look cool. And he's got his little accessories here. Other than that, he's got the chattering teeth, which is always funny. And I'm huge collector of the Joker. So anything I see that's Joker, you'll notice that maybe I at one point should just get a shelf for Joker. I'm just huge into the character. He's very interesting. And the different portrayals, from the movies to the comics to the cartoons, like there's just so many different varieties of him. So I think that's pretty cool. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Again, I ask that a lot because I like to have some good, positive conversations on there in regards to stuff that I like and love, to what you like and love, and what your thoughts are on it, right? Do you enjoy collecting anything action figures? Are you just a video gamer? Or collecting games? Do you collect, I don't know, balls? I've seen people collect marbles. Like, what do you collect? I'm just curious. So my big thing is action figures and video games. So I'm just curious, what do you collect? Let me know down below. Pretty cool stuff. Super excited. Now, this one is interesting. The reason being is, you all know that I'm a big horror buff, right? for a long, long time now, probably 6 to 8 months, maybe almost a year. This is a NECA figure from, obviously from NECA, and it's based on Friday the 13th remake. And I've debated so long about getting this, and I don't know why. I didn't really mind the remake per se, or reboot, or whatever they want to call it now. It's not technically a reboot because the last time we saw a film out of Friday the 13th was 2009, I believe. This is when this came out. So I thought he looked cool. These figures are awesome, but for whatever reason, I just didn't get him. And finally, I just pulled the trigger and said, the hell with it, I'm getting it. So I think he looks pretty awesome. I think the other cool part of this, other than coming with the different heads and a couple of different hands and all kinds of different tools, is the fact that you can actually see him unmasked, which you technically don't see in the movie. You see it for a very brief amount of time, not enough to see that. So I think that looks pretty cool. And now I think, from what I've heard, the lawsuit is on its way to moving to the next phase, which is hopefully going to be over. Don't quote me on that. Or just so many different intel sources out there in regards to this lawsuit. This is what makes this very particular special, because there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 2 other figures, including this one, that because of the lawsuit, this is it. This is all we're getting. So once that lawsuit pops up and moves on, whether they settle a court or whatever, I think that NECA can start making these as long as they have some sort of legal agreement still with whoever owns the rights at the end of the day, because it's between, I believe, Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham. So those 2 folks were in a dispute on who owns the rights to Friday the 13th, in particular, Jason, a few other things. I'm not here to get into the topic of lawsuit or anything like that. It's unfortunate, and you have to do what you have to do. If you feel something's yours, you should do everything in your power to obtain that. It's just as simple as that. So that's my only opinion on it. But let me know down in the comment section down below. Do you collect Friday the 13th? Did you feel the same way for whatever reason on this as I did, as opposed to collecting the other ones and really holding off on this? I'm just curious. But pretty excited to finally put him in. And I got a whole bunch of NECA figures that I'm going to show you this one more time in case it didn't come through clear enough. I had a whole section of just these type of figures, and they're awesome. The look, the articulation, like they're just great. And every once in a while when I try to hunt these down, I told you I'm super into these things being box sealed and looking pretty good. I would take a ding every now and then on certain parts of the box because it's just business, but things like this I've seen a lot of ripped off. These things right here tend to fall off every once in a while too. I believe I have a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, the Dream Warriors, Freddy Krueger action figure from NECA that had that problem as well. But most of them are pretty good, but I could never find one where this wasn't bent or something like dramatic with the packaging or whatever. So I finally pulled the trigger. Super excited to add that to the collection. Now this right here got some games, or got a game, got a movie. So here's an interesting topic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Now when this was first coming out, I know all of us know very well by now at this point that the look of Sonic was well debated and the community just went hog wild on the makers of this film. It took them longer because of that to release this. They made some changes and then they were able to put it out to the public, and the public was really excited once the new trailer dropped. And then they seemed pretty excited about when the movie dropped. I think it got to stay in the theaters for a little bit, and then I think the pandemic that we're currently in, the current health crisis, took over. We're closing all non-essential businesses and everything like that. So I haven't seen this. My boy is pretty excited when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog. I got him some cartoons that I found. I don't know when they're from. They're probably from the 2000s, late 90s. I'm going to guess it's probably the 2000s or even sooner. But I know he'll be super pumped to watch this. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Sorry, I just am not doing good with my, with whether this is like close enough for you or not. And I hate reshooting these things 20,000 times because I'm a perfectionist with certain parts of my video in regards to being able to see things and angles and stuff like that, but other things, you know, we'll get there, right? So let me know down in the comment section down below. Are you excited for Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie? Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Just curious. Last and certainly not least, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy for the Switch. And why did I get this? Well, I'll tell you why. I'm a big fan of both. I grew up watching them since I was a little person. My mom thoroughly enjoyed them. My grandmother thoroughly enjoys them still to this day. And I think I'm going to have to think here because I don't have my obvious way of looking to see if I actually have this or not on multiple systems, but I want to say I have Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy on only Sega CD, which, by the way, I know there are a lot of folks out there for the longest time that were not huge fans of the Sega CD. It's one of my most prized possessions and prized collections. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, when I got that Sega CD when it came out in 1993 as a present for my birthday, it blew my mind. And to this day, even though the graphics are dated and the FMV is still what it is, right? I still love it. I know there's a lot more people that are starting to grow older and they can relate to that, and now that's starting to see a boost because it's certainly seen a boost in price. With the pandemic and current health crisis going on, I've noticed that the video game market, as far as eBay and selling and stuff like that, has gone through the roof on a lot of things for obvious reasons. Most folks have been quarantined for a long time, and what better way to beat that quarantine? Not necessarily doing things around the house because it's stuff you didn't want to do, but I'm sure there's a lot of that going on because I did a lot of that, but also playing video games and with your family and stuff like that. So I'm pretty super pumped, super stoked, super excited to add this to the collection. I can't currently have my Sega CD out because the TV I'm using is actually upstairs in my room because I decided I'm also going to watch movies at night on times that, most of the times I fall asleep watching old WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, the network. So I've been watching that a lot lately. And sometimes YouTube, and then sometimes I'll pop in a movie. Like I've been trying to finish the, what was it? I can't remember what it's called right now, but I was super pumped about it, super hyped. It was that documentary video that I got online that I shared with you a while ago. I've been trying to finish that up. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, so luckily Blu-ray has that playback no matter if you turn it off, on and off. And you can start right off where you left off, so that's pretty cool. Unless the system shuts off completely, then you're kind of screwed. But I've been doing that to try to balance in between the time that I have sleeping. Sometimes I'll just throw this out of the other one on, but whatever. Let me know down in the comment section down below. What do you think of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy? Did you grow up watching this? Did you watch it with your parents or your family, whatever? I'm pretty stoked about it. I like Wheel of Fortune more than Jeopardy. I'm okay at Jeopardy. Meaning, like, I could sit there with somebody else and get some of the things right, but I'm not like a super master whiz or anything like that when it comes to random trivia. But the Wheel of Fortune's pretty cool, and another game to add to the collection. So, let me know down in the comment section down below. What did I get that you thoroughly enjoy? Was it the Joker, Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy 2-pack for the Switch? Was it the Minions? Motorcycle, those look pretty cool. Was it Sonic the Hedgehog? Or was it Friday the 13th? You let me know, and we'll get into some great positive conversations in this video down below. Last bit of information or recognition. We now have 53 awesome folks out there that decided to subscribe to the channel of House in Front of Video Games. So I'm super pumped about that. And the last 2 subscribers that I had, we actually got some really good conversations on YouTube as well as in Discord as well. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a channel that's big enough for that, or a community. I think it would be something cool maybe to do somewhere down the line, but I'm part of another YouTuber's Discord, which is actually, I'll just throw him out there because he's got an awesome channel. He just passed 2,000 subs, so Awesome job to you, Tendo. It's called Tendo, and it really focuses on making things, thrifting, reselling. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that this guy does, and his videos are like crisp. He's a movie editor by trade anyway, or vlogger, or whatever you want to call it. So he's awesome. His channel's awesome, and I find a lot of folks that end up coming to my channel is actually from the Discord over there. So check out his channel when you get a chance. Like I said, he just passed 2,000 subs, so awesome job to you, man. And that's about it. So if you do decide to subscribe today, or if you have already, make sure you hit notifications. Because if you do not do that, you will not be notified the next time that I put up something from the big box retailer, thrift time and finds, or any other madness that I happen to put on the channel. If you do, most of the time, you will get that notification. And until next time, this is Jason, Jason's House of Fun and Video Games. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Monday starts the work week. As it does for most of us, it will for me. And off I go to another store for about 2 weeks. In my professional career, my normal working job, I get to go to another store for 2 weeks, and then I think I have finally found a place for me to stay for a little longer, other than a couple months. So for the last 6 or 8 months, I've been bouncing around between a couple of different stores, like 3 different stores. So hopefully I'll find my place, find my home for a little bit, and that's it. So have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next video.